So when we present, or when you all read the letter, we can present it to the board and just like place it as a file right here for anybody to grab, like maybe on the corner of that table where nobody's at. I'm just saying that you all read.
I'm going to call the meeting to order, so please find a seat or where you're going to stand. Wow, we have such a wonderfully big crowd. Would we all rise, please, for the flag salute? Jocelyn has volunteered to lead us in the flag salute tonight. So, Jocelyn, it's all yours.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great job. You did it. I'd like to welcome so many here on our first New Year meeting. We will start with the superintendent report.
Yes, good evening, everybody, and welcome board. One of the things that I do at the beginning of each meeting is I try to highlight some of the things that have taken place since our last meeting. So I'm glad so many people are here to see so many things. This is back all the way in December. It seems like a long time ago, but I was able to visit Mrs. Broughton's music class at Loma Vista and learned a lot about Orff instruments. So these are new instruments that we have: metallophones, xylophones, and glockenspiels. And so very, very exciting, and the kids were so excited to play them. So that was really fun, and we're seeing those across the way. I want to really thank everybody that participated in our All Abilities Pajama Jam at Garin on the 12th. It was such a fun night. We had so many families come out. I want to thank Garin for hosting and allowing us to have that great event there. And I want to thank the whole special ed team for helping put that together. So it was a lot of fun. I love this. This is so 8th graders in health class getting lots of useful things. So CPR, blood pressure, EpiPens, tourniquets. So if you're having a health issue, there's some 8th graders out there that'll be better able to help you now. One of the fun traditions in the community every year is the Shop with a Cop that's put on by our Brentwood Police Department and the Police Athletic League. And the Brentwood School District leadership students in middle school play a huge part in that and helping wrap the gifts. So these are students that are chosen that need a little extra support, and the police department, our school resource officers, take them out and take them shopping for themselves and for their family for the holidays, and then they bring the gifts back and the leadership students help them wrap it. So really great program, and we're lucky to have a police department who really works hard to build relationships with our students going forward. I want to thank Lisa Seamers, who works with all of our amazing aides across our district. She put together this year a wonderful celebration honoring the great work that they did and do throughout the year. She got lots of donated raffle prizes and great food. It was just really a nice event and fun to celebrate all of those people and get them all together. Lots of different concerts going on in the wintertime. This is the Edna Hill Middle School Winter Concert. And thank you to Mrs. Brighton Booker for the work that she does putting into that. Also want to say a special thanks to the Mothers of Brentwood. So these are just two of the recipients at Brentwood L and Marsh Creek. But the Mothers of Brentwood selected a family at each of our schools, adopted them, and then brought gifts for them to help make their holidays a little bit brighter. I want to acknowledge our special educators for the month of December. So Hannah Palmquist from Loma Vista, Dennis Campbell and Shelley Grimm from Pioneer, and then Kristen Lyman at Edna Hill Middle School. So we have so many great special educators, and it's nice to see them both getting nominated by their peers and then selected by the committee going forward and being able to surprise them. I want to thank Assemblymember Farias for coming out. Edna Hill School and Miss Bedina had applied for a Verona grant, which is a grant that she was putting out there, and they were awarded that. And so she came out to deliver the check. So we're excited to use that. Also lots of rallies and programs at the end. This is Adam's winter rally. And so all kinds of fun new additions to the program out there, because they have the Adamsettes now along with the school drum line, the Bangor group, and the cheer group. And so great entertainment out there. The Brentwood Regional Community Chest, which happens right before the holidays, right after we get out, wouldn't be possible without all the people in the district. So there are so many staff members that encourage students to make donations, so many families that make those donations, and families and staff that come out and volunteer. BTA came out and had cookies for lots of the volunteers on Friday night and Saturday. Our maintenance and facilities department that collects all of those bins, so you can see just a little bit of that. We had a record number of bins this year, so it really wouldn't be possible for those 500 families to be supported across our district. And then I also want to thank Board Member Gursky and Board Member Thornhill were also able to come out and help on that Saturday distribution day, and just make it a really special holiday. So thank you to everybody that was involved in that. We also we've had a program for the past year at Loma Vista that was started with the Brentwood Rotary Club, where we've connected seniors to come in and have first grade reading buddies. And we were able to expand that program just at the start of last week to Marsh Creek Elementary. And so I really want to thank Rotarian Joanne Clement. I want to thank Teresa De Alfonsi from Marsh Creek. I want to thank all the first grade teachers from Marsh Creek who were willing to work together. We think this is a great opportunity for both our seniors and our students to get some extra attention there. I was over at Adams in the morning of January 7th, and I got to listen to a lot of times when I go to concerts and things like that, I'm hearing the end product, but I was able to go listen to them with Mrs. Isaac practice music for the very first time, and it was really, really inspiring. I'm so impressed with the work that she's doing and with the great job that the students are doing. Is that my time up? So, and then, sorry, I thought sometimes people are subtle. And then one of the things that we were able to do yesterday is we invited our retirees and former board members to come out and have, we did a special presentation about the state of the district, and we toured Ike Montanez Elementary School. Mr. Montanez was there as well to tour. So it was really fun to connect with so many people that have played such a huge role in this district throughout all the years. And then finally, I want to congratulate, we sent out an announcement in December, but we have been able to bring that to the board. And so we're so fortunate to have 6 administrators in our district that were honored by the Association of California School Administrators. And so our secondary principal of the year is Angela Mullen. So congratulations, Angela. Our elementary co-principal of the year is Julie France. So congratulations, Julie. Confidential employee of the year is one of our HR specialists, our recruiting specialist, Emily Cooper. So congratulations to Emily. Our elementary principal of the year is Allison Martin. Congratulations, Allison. This is good timing having Garen come out today, huh? Our special ed administrator of the year was Justine Melendez. Congratulations, Justine. And then our middle school co-principal of the year is Kara Ravina. So congratulations. We're so excited for those people and to be able to celebrate them. There's a special dinner that'll take place in March to honor them. And that is my report.
Thank you. At this time, we'll have our favorite part of every board meeting is when the school does their presentation. We'll let Garen School introduce themselves. This exemplifies and really shows the reason we're here. Thank you.
All right, good evening, board, and Dr. Eaton, and of course, all of our fantastic families that came with us today, and our super exciting big audience today. I told them, don't worry, there's not that many people here. So you are not that many people. But I am super excited to be able to present to you a program that we hold near and dear to our hearts at Garen. And one of the things that I must say about this program is that this program started organically, and I actually have sort of the original thought person behind this program here with us today. And she's an honorary member of our team today because she has gone past elementary school and is now at Edna Hill. But we are going to, and she's also the daughter of a Brentwood Union School District teacher. So we're really proud to have her here with us to present to you about our Garen Buddies. And while I know it's really important to the board of directors that we are presenting something that is LCAP goal related, this is a program that's really near and dear to the hearts of all of the teachers that support the program, that run the program, that have kids in the program. And so we do support the LCAP goal. It is the goal to promote culture that supports learning for students and belonging at our site. But most importantly, this is a program about heart, and a lot of things about teaching are about heart. So I'm super excited to pass my microphone off so that we can have the real stars of the show tell you about our program.
Hi, I'm Abigail Jenkins. I'm a 7th grader at Edna Hill. And first off, I'd like to thank Mrs. Young for giving me the opportunity to come out here tonight. And Garen Buddies has taught me more to respect and understand my peers with disabilities. And Garen Buddies is an important program to create empathy with the people around you, and I am honored to say that I was a part of becoming this amazing program. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sophia, and I'm here today to talk about Garen Buddies. Never did I think Garen Buddies would bring me to such a great friendship like I have now with my best friend Camden. Every day he brings me joy, and it makes me happy to have an impact with someone's life. Thank you for having me.
This is our friend Camden.
My new friends make me feel happy and accepted.
And this is our friend Mario.
I like to play basketball with my friends. Hi, my name is Jocelyn. I really like hanging out with our amazing Garen Buddies from Room 30. They are great friends and give me positivity on days that I'm sad. Hi, my name is Aria. I'm so happy to be here today with my Garen Buddies. They help me learn about how they feel and how they communicate. The Garen Buddies help them feel safe and loved at Garen. Hi, my name is Ava. The Garen Buddy program is fun for me and my buddies. I like to go to the Special Olympics to teach our buddies about sports. I hope when our Garen Buddies get older, they will get to play more sports. Hi, my name is Olivia. My favorite part about the Buddies program is that we get to watch the buddies learn and grow. They can even communicate with us even on their tablets. Hi, my name is Lila. My favorite part about Garen Buddy program is building relationships and saying hi to them around campus.
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much for this opportunity to share something that is very close to my heart. Garen Buddies began 4 years ago because, well, my 4th graders made it happen. While reading a class chapter book, they made a connection with characters in the story who were buddies with their special education peers. That day, our reading stopped immediately, and all at once they started asking why we weren't doing the same thing with our peers right next door. They wanted friendship, they wanted inclusion. All they needed was someone to help facilitate it, and I was lucky enough to be in that position. Since then, Garen Buddies has grown into a club where students can come together to celebrate birthdays, enjoy recess, play Fun Friday together, and participate in Special Olympics several times a year. I'm incredibly proud of our students for creating a culture where everyone belongs. Garen Buddies is a reminder that when we give kids the space to lead with their hearts, they always rise to the occasion. And to me, that's the part that makes my heart swell with pride. I did not plan on crying, by the way. That Garen Buddies didn't teach our students how to include others, but that they already know how. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Miss Marie, as all the kids call me, and I am one of the 7 occupational therapists in the district. As an occupational therapist, participation and inclusion is definitely my passion and something I try to pursue every day. I am truly amazed, and you can witness it here, of the progress the inclusion that we have seen over the last few years at Guerin, and the buddy system being part of this inclusion process. The buddy program has built a community of acceptance throughout the campus, and I would say throughout the district. As you may know, the Special Olympics is a major activity for kids in our special need program, special day class. And this is something they look forward to go. And the buddy program really plays a key role in assisting and preparing the students to work together and support each other. And as an occupational therapist, I use my expertise to prepare these buddies and to teach them about others' abilities and prepare them for different events that they will face together. As the Special Olympics, we have actually this Friday, we have the basketball Special Olympics. We had soccer at Heritage High School in the fall, and then we'll have track and field in May. So I would like to say and end by saying it is a teamwork that makes dream works.
My name is Lori Gennard. I am a special ed teacher at Guerin Elementary, and I have the privilege of speaking on behalf of the parents. Over the years, I've established a nice relationship with our parents, and so sometimes they speak rather freely to me. A few of the things they said when we first started this is concern. What if my kid melts down? What if they don't share well? Well, guess what? They are. And they're doing a great job, and they're thriving. And now my parents are saying, my child has friends. My child has regular friends. And one of the parents left me with this, and I thought it was really neat. She says, it takes a village. She goes, but that village, it also includes the kids. And our kids are doing a great job.
Now, there's many impacts that we have seen throughout our campus for both our students in special ed and our students in general ed. Some of them are things like social inclusion. You've heard many messages about how the kids are now included in things, simple things like sitting with a buddy at lunch, hanging out with someone at recess. Those are things that many of us take for granted, and it's those simple gestures that are making a huge difference. They also are doing things such as modeling. The students are learning how to take turns, simple things like how to count on the swings, that you have to wait until the student is off the swing before you get on the swing. Things such as participation, you heard her talking about Special Olympics. They're helping teach the kids how to play basketball, how to play soccer, how to run a race for track and field. It's pretty amazing to watch. Also, academic support. While sometimes we think of students in our Mod Severe SDC classes as the academic support is not the type of academic support that they might be learning in the classroom, but these students have risen to the occasion. They are helping them, they are teaching them, they are working with them on their communication devices to be able to respond to answers, and the kids are thriving. There's also benefits for our students who are in general ed. They are learning leadership responsibility. They have taken that responsibility. It came from them. That's one true testament to how this is impacting their lives. It's also teaching them empathy. Oftentimes, if a student is having struggles in one of our SDC classes, it's our gen ed students that are going over to try and help support them, to say, hey, you want to come and try and distract them to see if they can get them to come with them maybe to class. It's helping them build communication skills. It's teaching our gen ed students that there are other ways to communicate. I've seen them out there we have a board out there, a communication board. They're using their devices. They're looking for the cards on how to teach them it's time to go someplace, or their first then cards. It's also a career interest. It's teaching them, I was having a conversations with one of the students here, like, hey,
I did this as a student and I ended up getting a special ed credential. She goes, I think that's what I want to do too. I think this is what I want to do when I grow up. And so it's really teaching them and giving them an interest in those aspects as well. So I wanted to thank you so much for your time. And this is our Garen inclusion.
All right, and as Mr. Geddes makes his way up, board, we did leave for you shirts that match our inclusion shirts. So we hope that you will be able to make it out to a Special Olympics in the near future, maybe, and support all students, but maybe show off some Garen pride.
So, and if anyone's name left out,
Yeah, that was very, very inspiring. Thank you so much, Garen. Certainly the highlight of my day to hear all that you've done there. And parents, you're more than welcome to stay, but we also understand it's a school night, and so if you need to go, it's an okay time to go too. Oh yeah, sure. Do you want me to take it, Chrissy, so you can do it?
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. I see a bunch of people wanting to do that. All right.
Kodak moment. Excitement. We'll give a moment for you to transition. Hi, you want to cut through here? Oh, I thought maybe you wanted to come around. What is that?
Behind, right, this one is right there. They're gonna go up all three together. They're each gonna speak 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. She said they wanted to be.
No. She said she just wanted to be before the others. You can put that in the end. You can put the 3 of them at the end behind you.
Okay.
Oops, sorry. There you go. Okay.
Excuse me. I got a little cough here.
Yes, that's right.
If you're coming in, there are seats in and the groups can transition out.
I'll be the first one on you over than you do the first one on odd.
Okay, I got on. So I'll do it. And then we'll go. You got even? Okay.
You start with number one.
Okay. We'll put that shut in your comment.
Thank you all. We'll go on with the regular meeting. Board, is there anyone who has a public comment or comment they would like to make at this time? If not, we'll move to the public comment, which is, I'm going to need to read this first before we open the public comment. Items on the consent calendars can be addressed. Requests for future agenda items are items that are not on the agenda. Remarks are limited to 3 minutes per person. While we encourage your comments, unfortunately, state law prevents us from discussing items that are not on the meeting agenda. Public comments can be made at this time or during appropriate agenda time. We do take them very seriously, and if appropriate, staff will follow up. Public comments can only be submitted via email, and any public comments received up to 5 p.m. of the day of the meeting will be discussed at the board email. So at this time, I would take a motion to open public comment.
Yeah, I move we open public comment.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to open public comment. Those in favor? Aye. I'll read the names. AJ Beardy. Thank you. If I mispronounce your name, I apologize.
Good evening, everybody. It's always good to be first, but also pros and cons, right? So hopefully I'm in the timeline and not saying anything which is not applicable here. But my concern here is to address the personnel changes and the level of attention in kids' development at Pioneer Elementary. My son's name is Avir Singh Worthy. He is a 5th grade student at Pioneer. And recently he has been impacted heavily by the change of the teacher in the mid-year. He is a great student and a bright kid, but, understanding the change in the middle of the school year has a huge emotional impact on his learning and also adapting, right? So we as a parent are trying everything at home possible to make sure he is continuing with learning the way he needs to learn and advance in his life. But, there's always, a negative impact on learning when you start a school year in a certain style, certain relationships with the teacher and getting to adapt their style, but then you have to stop and reestablish the relationship with the teacher. And same thing, vice versa. Teacher has to understand the kid's personality, how they learn, how they react, and what are the levels, right? So there's typically in a school year, in the first quarter, everybody's learning each other, right? Each other's level of everybody's level of knowledge, and also how they're learning, right? So I think my daughter, who also started with Pioneer in kindergarten and is a senior at Heritage right now, over the time we have seen the Pioneers level of education has been diminishing. There's been a lot of turnover. We want to bring that to the attention of the board. We have noticed that close to 20 personnel have transitioned in the past, I would say 2 years or so. That should be alarming, right? So why are teachers not willing to stay at the school? At the start of the school year in the 5th grade, we were it was brought to our attention that there are no teachers available to teach 5th grade. That's alarming as well. Like, what is the cause? Is it the kids are not well, or is it something with the school, right? So again, now the teacher who's come in, I don't doubt her skills, but I think the compatibility is what I question. We get conditioned in a certain environment. When you're in a law environment, law enforcement environment, you cannot come in and teach a 5th grade students, right?
Thank you, AJ. Stephanie Arwick. Arwick.
Thank you.
Didn't see the K on the end.
Let me just get situated up here. Give me 1 second. Thank you first and foremost for providing us all with the opportunity to speak today. Like you said, my name's Stephanie Arwick. I am a parent of a 5th grade student at Pioneer Elementary in Miss Ariano's class. I want to apologize in advance for reading from my phone tonight. Believe it or not, I do speak publicly as part of my job, but I am too emotional to speak off script right now. My family is new to the school district and moved here specifically because of its strong reputation and its high regard that it is held in. That reputation matters to my family and I, and it's why we decided to plant our roots here. And by the way, we're very happy that we did. In the short time my son has been under Miss Ariano's instruction, I have seen a remarkable improvement in his academic performance. As a parent of a child with a disability, I have learned through experience that not every teacher brings the same level of skill, care, and understanding, all of which is critical to my son's success. Under her guidance, my son's grades have improved drastically. More importantly, I have seen him take pride in his work in a way that I have never seen in his educational journey. His writing has improved by leaps and bounds, and for the first time, he's genuinely engaged in his learning and enjoying it. And as my son would say, Miss Ariano makes learning fun. He comes home, he talks about school, he talks about what he's learning, and the retention that I am seeing is unlike anything I have seen in all of his years of school. I'm deeply concerned that a teacher that has made such a profound impact on my son in such a relatively short period of time might be removed from the classroom. As a concerned parent, I am asking you all, I am begging you all to explore and exhaust any other alternative options before making a decision that would disrupt our children's education and well-being. Please consider the real measurable impact that this teacher has had on our students in such a short period of time. I know that you all have received the petitions, and I trust that you will review them and weigh them in your decision. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Jesse D. Santiago.
My name is Jesse D. Santiago. I'm going to try not to be emotional like Stephanie over here. Miss Ariano is my wife. Just want to weigh that out there. I didn't come with anything prepared, but knowing that there's a very small time limit, I'm just going to read a letter from her to the students and their families. To my families and scholars, thank you truly for your unwavering love and support. Over the past month, your encouragement has meant more to me than I can put into words. Even though I haven't been able to communicate directly with you, please know that I've been made aware of your incredible kindness, advocacy, and care you have shown. Your support has been felt every step of the way, and I'm deeply grateful. I feel so blessed to have been chosen as your teacher, and I can say with full confidence that I have the dopest 5th grade class ever. The classroom community we built, rooted in trust, connection, laughter, and mutual respect, is something truly special. It's one of a kind. It's a room 29 thing, and it always will be. Your enthusiasm, charisma, your energy, and your willingness to learn in a joyful, fun, and challenging environment will forever be engraved in my heart. every nickname, every joke, every laugh, every serious conversation, every single moment we share together will be cherished and never forgotten. And yes, please don't forget to put your name in the top right corner of your paper. You know who you are. But in all seriousness, thank you for making me a better teacher. You have taught me just as much as I've taught you. Always stay true to who you are. Remember the mistakes that make your brain grow. And no matter how hard things are, no matter how distant your goals might feel, one day you'll look around and realize, just like I did in our classroom, and you'll think or sing, quote, hey now, this is what dreams are made of. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. Peace out, Girl and Boy Scouts. XOXO, Miss Ariana.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I still got a little bit of time. This is me speaking. Of course, I'm here to support my wife, but also speaking as a father of 2 children in this district. I have volunteered for my daughter's classrooms in the past. I am constantly volunteering in her classroom, and I can honestly say that it's very rare to see the connection that a teacher can make for their students on multiple levels, not just as an educator, but as a role model, as someone that the kids look up to and trust. And as a civil servant myself, that's the kind of people that I want educating my children. And unfortunately, we are at a point where that may not continue in room 29. And I just want to bring up the concern and decision-making to make a decision, because we moved here in June and we've quickly been able to make a lot of friends in this community. And that encompasses students and encompasses, our kids' extracurricular activities. And they all love and support Miss Ariana as a teacher and as a person. And I just hope that that can continue. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jesse. Jasmine, Ariana? Jasmine? Yes.
I can just get a moment to get situated. I know my students would say I probably don't need the mic. My voice is loud enough. Can you hear me okay? Okay. I think I'm okay. My name is Jasmine, and I am the fifth grade teacher at Pioneer. I am here today to share the impact of my work and my professionalism in this community that I've had the privilege to serve over the past half year. I'd like to make the point that at no point has my instructional ability been in question. In fact, through my time in the classroom, I have received positive feedback regarding my teaching practice, classroom environment, and commitment to my scholars. I will refer to my students as my scholars because I hold them to such high expectations that they are scholars. I respectfully believe there are strong reasons for my continued placement at Pioneer, specifically in room 29 or at any school site within BUSD. My scholars are constantly engaged in learning and demonstrate enthusiasm for attending school. Classroom participation, behavior, and overall morale reflect a positive and supportive learning environment. Assessment data shows measurable academic growth across content area, indicating effective instructional practices and responsiveness to scholars' needs. Over the past 6 months, there have been documented improvement in quality of scholar work, classroom systems, and overall academic performance, reflecting both scholar growth and my own professional development. I have built strong, trusting relationships with scholars and families. I strive to be approachable, empathetic, and responsive, which have allowed families to feel supportive and scholars to feel seen, valued, and motivated to succeed. The presence of scholars and parents here tonight, most of which are on Zoom due to personal family matters and because it's a school night, speaks to the strength of that partnership, as do the surveys completed by families. for those that were unable to be present tonight. I have also maintained consistent professional communication and accountability. I initiated and participated in regular check-ins with my administrator and made a conscious effort to strengthen clarity, collaboration, and professionalism in our communication. To date, there have been no write-ups, reprimands, or disciplinary actions in my record. I recognize that sometimes an educator may not initially be placed in the right environment or within the right fit. However, that does not determine one's effectiveness, dedication, or potential to be a strong contributor to a school or community. I would welcome the opportunity to continue demonstrating my ability within a supportive environment, particularly one with consistent mentorship and established leadership. Access to structured guidance is an area that has been limited in recent months, and I believe that support would allow me to continue growing and contribute at a high level. This decision has had a significant impact on my livelihood, professional trajectory, credentialing pathway, and family. However, my greatest concern remains the disruption to my scholars who have benefited from stability, trust, and continuity in their learning environment. I respectfully ask the board to consider my continued service to Room 29, to this district, and to the scholars we are all here to support. Thank you for your time, consideration, and commitment to educators, scholars, and overall the community of Brentwood, in which is known to always be. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Connie Torres, I'll introduce you, and I understand you'll introduce two others.
Yeah. Is this all three presenting together? Board, the associations have made a request rather than three presenting individually for 3 minutes, if they could have 9 minutes to present all together. That would require a motion from you to allow that time change, if that's something that you'd be willing to allow.
I'll make a motion to allow the 9 minutes.
I seconded. It's been moved and seconded. We allow the 9-minute session. Please move ahead.
We promise it won't be 9 minutes.
Okay.
I just want to make sure we don't go over the 3 minutes. Good afternoon, board, Dr. Eaton, and district officials. If you are here on behalf of BTA, CSEA, and CLC and Teamsters, can you please stand up? We are here today on behalf of our respective bargaining units because of a shared commitment to Brentwood students and to the schools that serve them. Our members choose to work in Brentwood Union School District because they believe in the community, care deeply about its students, and take pride in the role they play in helping children learn, grow, and feel safe each day. The success of BUSD students is inseparable from the stability, experience, and well-being of the educators, classified professionals, and support staff who serve them. Students benefit most when schools are staffed by employees who are able to remain in the district long-term, build relationships with families, and focus fully on their work without the constant pressure of financial instability. Across all employee groups, our members are deeply invested in BUSD. Many have chosen this district because of their connection to the students and the community they serve. That commitment has sustained BUSD through years of challenges, and it continues to define the culture of care and professionalism that families expect from their schools.
Teachers, school psychologists, counselors, speech and language therapists, and other certificated professionals provide instruction and critical academic, behavioral, and social emotional support. These services are most effective when delivered by experienced staff who know their students well. When compensation and benefits lag behind neighboring districts, students experience staffing shortages, which disrupt the continuity of instruction and care. Classified employees are equally essential to the daily experience of students. Custodians and maintenance staff ensure safe, clean learning environments. Food service workers support student health and readiness to learn. Our technology staff ensure that vital programs and curriculum are running and available for all staff and students. Secretaries, instructional aide, and librarians provide consistent, trusted support to students and families throughout the school day. These are often the adults students interact with most frequently. When classified positions remain unfilled or staff leave for better compensated positions elsewhere, students lose familiarity, stability, and support that cannot be easily replaced.
For these reasons, we expect the district to engage in a transparent and good faith bargaining process focused on the long-term interests of students through the following priority areas: competitive compensation, salary schedules that allow BUSD to retain experienced employees and attract qualified candidates, ensuring students benefit from the stable, high-quality instruction and support, comprehensive health benefits, employer-paid high-quality health coverage that allows employees to remain healthy, present, and focused on meeting the needs of all students. Working conditions, enforceable working conditions that ensure safe, well-staffed, and well-supported schools where employees can effectively serve students. As we move into 2026, our shared goal must be stability for students. We've been hearing about that a lot today. That stability depends on the district's ability to retain the skilled, dedicated workforce that students rely on every day. Our members remain committed to Brentwood students and are prepared to bargain in good faith toward agreements that support continuity, consistency, and long-term success in BUSD schools.
And together, we are united labor leaders are requesting a meeting with you within the next 2 weeks. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for all who attended to support this.
All right.
I get a motion to close.
Yeah, I move to close public comment.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to close public comment. All those in favor? Aye. We'll wait a moment. Darren, how you doing, man? Good.
Isn't he retired? Is he retired? Emo, is he retired?
He's still working.
Oh, he's still working.
That's never mind.
Oh, okay.
We'll move forward as the room exits. Consent items, we have 8 consent items go. Is there anyone like to pull any consent item or out of the group for discussion?
No.
If not, I'll take a motion
To what?
to approve the consent items.
Okay. I move to approve item, was it 1.0 here?
8.0 through 8.7.
I move to approve items 8.0 through 8.7, the consent items.
Second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve all consent items. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes 3-0. No hearings and appeals, presentations and reports. There is nothing to report out of closed session tonight. So we'll move to item 10.1 just in time. The approval of resolution 2026-02.
And we have John Isom here with us. Mr. Isom, you want to come up to, why don't you come here?
Yeah.
That's okay. And we have both items 10.1 and 10.2 on for you. And so you can speak to both of them, or you can speak to one at a time, whatever the board would like.
No, that'd be fine.
Both of them?
Whatever, how it feels to
whatever you're most comfortable with.
I'm comfortable with either, but they do somewhat connect, so I'll speak to both of them.
Yeah.
Okay, just Happy New Year. Good to see you all. John Isom with Isom Advisors. We're the district's financial advisor. And what you have before you is two resolutions that, if approved, would authorize the district to do two things. The first of which would be to issue about $6 million from its prior election, right? As you know, voters approved an authorization. The district from time to time accesses those dollars, and through a combination of factors, most notably interest rates are solid, assessed value growth has been good, and your second item or your second resolution is a refunding of old bonds that actually improves our ability to access money from that authorization. Okay, so those are the two things that you have before you. What that resolution essentially does is it deputizes, for lack of a better term, your district staff and your finance team to go and complete these finances on your behalf. And there's associated legal documents along with the resolution. The resolution itself basically gives that direction. The associated legal documents are kind of in draft form, but let's just say they're 99% complete. Also, through the approval of the resolution, you're saying go ahead and complete the remaining 1% on those particular documents. You may ask, well, why aren't those things complete? They don't get complete until bonds are actually sold and locked in. And as you may recall, if you've seen any of the details of a bond sale, you have 25 unique years, 25 what's called a QSIP number, which is kind of a social security number almost for each bond that ever exists, 25 different interest rates, coupons, dollar amounts to the penny, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a little bit of detail that ultimately goes into those documents that have blanks, but that authorization of the resolution would in fact direct staff and us to go ahead and complete that on your behalf. So we don't have to come back and say, oh, can we now complete these documents? You're saying they're mostly complete. They're 99% complete. By approving this resolution, I'm deputizing you guys to go ahead and get it done. So on the first resolution, as discussed, this is a new money issuance. So this would provide the district with about $6 million plus of funds that could be used to continue your capital improvements for school facilities, which is fantastic. The second resolution is the refunding resolution. And as I mentioned, from 2016, bonds were sold. There's about $20 million that we can refund. Similar to a home mortgage refi where you say, hey, here's higher interest rates. I can replace them with lower interest rates. And the difference between those interest rates produces savings. The same is true here. One distinction, unlike a home mortgage refi that can reset the 30 years or reset the clock, and it might provide you cash flow benefit, but it could be more expensive overall depending on if you saw that mortgage through to the life of the term. A school bond refunding cannot extend the years. So not only is it a benefit from a cash flow basis, meaning I'm paying less year to year, but I'm also paying less overall. So there's a financial calculation that we do. To give you a little bit of the highlights, it's in your resolution. We have what's called a good faith estimate in there. The savings right now per the good faith estimate is about $1.25 million. Again, that goes to the taxpayers. It doesn't come to the district, but it goes to property taxpayers. Today's interest rate environment is a little bit better, and we're looking at about $1.5 to $1.6 million in savings. So very excited about that opportunity. One last element, also part of the good faith estimates, maybe gets a little bit into the weeds, but I think it's important for you guys to hear, is that we do a calculation, really any financial advisor does this calculation to say how financially efficient is the financing. Right? Because you could do a refunding and save $1, that wouldn't be financially efficient. So in our industry, we have a minimum benchmark of 3% net present value. That's a calculation. It just, again, calculates how efficient, how much are we saving in today's dollars. Okay, you're saving 3% if that was your NPV or net present value benefit. You're saving 3% in real dollars. This particular refunding right now, we're at 7%, so more than double the GFOA minimum standard. So I think it meets 3 big criteria for you. 1, gross savings of $1.6 million. That's a significant benefit to taxpayers. Number 2, it's very financially efficient in the sense that it's 7% net present value. And then finally, it does allow us to access additional dollars from the 2016 authorization. So another $6 million in cash to the district for projects.
How does it reflect back to the taxpayer? How?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, so there's not like a rebate. No one's going to get a check in the mail or anything like that. What it does is it lowers the debt service. So when you think, all right, I owe payments from now until 2046, right? So the district owes payments until now until 2046. There is currently a debt service schedule for every year. So we know what the payment is in 2027, 28, all the way to 2046. And those payments are higher than if we refund them. So if we refund them and interest rates hold, so I do want to emphasize that the 1.6 million is not guaranteed. If interest rates go up in the coming month or 2, then the refunding might go away. But I think we're confident that the rate should stay somewhat stable. But if we do refund it, I don't want to say we throw away the old debt service, but we do. We really get rid of the old debt service because we're paying off those investors who bought bonds in 2016, and we're replacing them with different investors and a lower debt service. So that's where you get the savings differential.
How do we communicate that to the taxpayers?
We write a press release for the district. You put it in the newspaper. You can put it on your website. We definitely want to get credit because, as I said at the beginning, Dana, Diane, they're going to be putting in all this work, and the district doesn't necessarily get to see the $1.6 million benefit. It's truly for the benefit of taxpayers in future lower payments. So we would work with you guys on putting together a press release because you definitely should get some credit for doing that. Yeah.
One of the values of the board has been for us to aggressively investigate any sort of refunding opportunities when the time has come up. It's one of the promises we made when we went out and we assured the voters that we would be good financial stewards of their money going forward. And so we continue to look at this, and there's been times in the past couple years where we've looked and we thought it was going to work, but then it didn't work. And so we're really excited to have this opportunity to be able to refund it this time. And I think to your point, Mr. Geddes, I think it will be really important for us to communicate it out because it's something complicated. So you want to make sure that people really understand what's the result.
And we were attacked quite heavily when we passed the bond in the first place that we never meet the obligations, and so it's just
So it'll be important for us to share how responsible we've been for other people's money in the benefit of our students. Any other questions for John?
No, just thank you. This is an opportunity to do something for the community. We did that, and we appreciate your work.
You bet.
I think on behalf of Diane and I, we recently just selected ISOM advisors. I mean, we've been very, very pleased with their work, and we think that we've made a great decision for the district. And so, and I want to thank you, John, for coming here today and explaining it so clearly.
Yeah, thank you. Good to see you.
Okay, so these are 2 action items, 10-1 and 10-2.
We'll do them separately. If we get a motion on the resolution 2026-02.
Well, they have 01 and 02. Yeah, I move to approve item 10.1, approval of resolution number 2026-02.
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So passes. Item resolution, even though it's item 10.2, it's resolution 03. So do we have a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2026-03.
Item 10.2
I
is
second it.
moved and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Just pushing that. All right. Thank you.
Thanks so much, John.
You bet. Thank you.
Yeah.
The next item is an information item, the governor's proposed state budget update.
That's coming from me and Dana and I probably.
Not
but
Denise.
I'll get started. Denise?
No, I did it this
Oh, sure.
purposely
Okay.
this time.
Diane, thank you. Annually, the governor of California, Governor Newsom, is required by law to release on January 10th his first iteration of his new budget. It's called his proposed 26-27 state budget. And this is really his statement of purpose. It's really his priorities that he's putting out there, telling the legislature and the public, this is what I think we should spend our money on next year and continue our programs and build new programs. So the good news about the state budget is that TK through 14 does get a larger portion of education budget out of the whole general fund. I think the challenges with that is it's called a minimum guarantee, Prop 98, which we talked about. So it sets a standard for the minimum amount schools are going to get, but it's not necessarily meeting like the base amount needed as costs increase over time to really educate students the way, we want in California and in our district. What you may recall from last year, so that was called like the January 2025 budget, was that the governor didn't fully fund Prop 98 because he used a maneuver where he said, I'm going to fund you 1.9 billion less and just hold it back to make sure we get the revenues the year of fiscal year. And if we do get it, then we'll settle up and give you the money later. And if it's more, we'll give you more. If it's less, we give you less. And so now this year, January 2026, he has actually tripled the amount of settle up money that he wants to hold back. So he wants to hold back $5.6 billion from the amount that would go to K through 14 education and put it aside, and we will get it once it's trued up in the next budget year. The challenge of that is that he's underfunding Prop 98 as a way to help balance the state budget. And one of the real challenges for schools is that it increases our uncertainty when we look at multi-year projections, not only for the fiscal year. So we're talking about 26-27, July 1st this year, and so let's say, Brentwood, I'm going to hold back, $1 million or $750,000 or $2 million. It's like, but just go ahead and budget, and districts can't do that. We can only budget on what the actuals come in. And so when you're planning for this year and to be fiscally solvent, it's, you don't have the full picture, but you can only budget the actual amounts. So it's a really challenging way for school districts to not get the minimum of fully funded Prop 98. But really the highlights of his budget are, and it's something we talked about at the first interim budget in December, is the statutory COLA. He's estimated today that it would be funded at 2.41%, which is about 0.6% lower than what we are currently using. So the first interim budget for next fiscal year was going to be 3.8%. 0.02%. And now when I come back in March and we have a multi-year projection, and for next year's budget, our LCF revenue will be like a little over 0.5% less based on what he's saying today. And we had heard that might be coming, but that will be.
There's 7.5 billion, and then this is going to be an additional.
Yes.
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 Wow.
Yes. There is some one-time money. We keep talking about this, the Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant. That's actually, that was given to all districts in 2022 for COVID, and then it was cut in 2023 by 1.1 billion. So this year they gave us some back. It's not a big amount, but we use every dollar. And he's saying that we can have the remaining amount next year. It's not a big amount, but it's still important money for the district. Also, there's a one-time discretionary block grant that is similar in scope to what we're getting this year. Now, this year we got it, and it was based on average daily attendance, which is the best way it can be allocated, because then we get, like every district in the state, based on our ADA, how many students come. During COVID, there were several one-time tranches of money where they did partly on ADA and partly on your unduplicated, your number of English learners, low income. And so our district, as a lower funded UPP district, wouldn't get as much. And so that methodology of how they're going to allocate this year's money or for next year is undetermined. The legislature is the one who ends up talking about it, as well as the governor. And we would hope that it would be the same, but we don't know yet. If it was based on ADA, it would provide the district, based on estimates by school services this week that are just estimates, of about $4.9 million. If it was by ADA, if it was by UPP and ADA, it could be significantly less. And it is one time. The good news is it is one time, and it has the same allowable expenditures, which include addressing rising costs, which literally include, like, when the insurance goes up 200,000 and contributions go up anyway. So that is something that's coming, and we don't know yet how it was going to affect us. The other good news is that the governor has to, in his budget, also appropriate a COLA for the other, like special education, nutrition services, mandated block grant, and he did give it the same. He usually does, but it's not a given that those departments and those budgets would get the same increase. Another very good piece of news is he is funding universal meals. That is something he has to fund every year, or at least fund it, legally, to know there's going to be money to pay for that, even though, it's a program we've had now for about 4 years, I think. So where does that take us? So I think the thing is that, so the proposed budget comes out by your governor, and then it goes to the two legislative, the Assembly and the Senate, right? And they both kind of have round one of budget discussions where they individually they talk together, they talk to the governor's office, Department of Finance, and they all work through budget priorities. Then in May, we get the second required budget, right, the May revision, and that is much closer to the adopted budget in July, and you have updated revenues, more information. But then there's also what I call round two of the legislature, because they have to go and then approve it by June 15th, send it to Governor Newsom, and he can make changes still after that. So it's a long process. But I think what's really important to know is that, we're advocating for everything for education. We stay on top of that. We're going to school services next week. They do a very deep dive workshop And then one more thing.
No,
Just-
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
sort of
seem
say,
impatient.
The risk, just, and taking a look at what are the risks to the state budget, which are the same risks for us, are just, the governor's budget is roughly balanced on higher revenues that might come in. What they say is the stock market poses a threat because of the volatility, because our three taxes, corporate tax is a big part of the income and revenues for the state, and it is very volatile. The state's running on multi-year structural, what they call operating deficits, which means it's always getting bigger and bigger because it's not being structurally, looked at. And the federal policies. So now you
Sorry, Diane. You did a great job going through the details. I think just to add a little bit of color, one of the the governor has the Department of Finance that works for him basically, and they're the ones who construct what the predictions are going to be, because they largely are. They're taking into account what's happened so far, and they're making projections going forward. The Legislative Analyst Office is the arm that's sort of a check and balance that comes back. And what the Legislative Analyst Office said, they put out a report today that basically said they feel like that the projections that the governor have are way too high. And so it's just something that we're going to have to watch as we go forward. There's really no way to know how the stock market's going to go for the length of time, which is, and because in California, more than half the revenue comes from the top 1% of earners, the stock market has an oversized impact on what happens with revenue in the state and what comes to schools. I think the more troubling trend that we're seeing is, we talked a lot about how Gate is supposed to be a for education, and over the years, the legislature and the governor have turned it into the ceiling. They'll come out and they'll say we fully fund education, meaning they've met the bare minimum going forward. Well, now for the last 2 years, we're seeing that they're not even meeting the bare minimum, right? Last year, we were funded $1.9 billion below, and this year it's $5.6 billion below is what he's proposing. And just to give you an idea of what that would look like for Brentwood, that's probably close to $8 to $8.5 million is what we'd be talking about. And the struggle that we have is that when you combine that with taking what should be ongoing revenue and making it one-time revenue, because you're trying to make sure that you protect, it's the school districts that are left trying to close those gaps, right? At the next meeting, I'll be coming back to you because we still have an ongoing revenue problem, not a one-time revenue problem. We have an ongoing revenue problem just to balance our budget and meet our 3% minimum reserve obligation to cut $500,000. So I'll be coming back with recommendations for that at our next meeting. And so while the one-time money will help patch holes and go forward, it's not an ongoing source of funds. And so if we use that in an ongoing way, we set up a cliff that makes for a big budget cut later on. So those are the challenges that we're left with as the state continues to underfund education and specifically our school district.
Yeah, that was basically my question. How do we negotiate? Because all of our expenses are not, none of our expenses go a year at a time.
Yeah. Well, and I want to state that, what the three members of the association said, there's a lot of truth to it, right? Is that we have struggled to keep up with some of our neighboring districts that get higher amounts of funding, right? When you're funded $7,000 below the average district in the state of California, when 90% of your budget is spent on personnel, that's the way that we've been set up. The challenge is that with the ongoing increases in special education, with the ongoing increase of the cost of things, with the ongoing increase in healthcare, with the ongoing increase in insurance, a 2.4% COLA doesn't even cover those costs that'll increase next year. That's not even talking about step and column and increases going forward, right? So it presents you as a board with a minimum reserve a really big challenge going forward.
Thank you, Diane.
So we're basically the main points that we want to walk out the door with today is that coal is down, reduced, Prop 98 funding is reduced, way below the constitutional commitment.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting here $4 to $5 million to try to figure out what to do with this. how to use this money in the best way that's best for our district, considering that this is a difficult thing to do because the most costs that we need are unknown.
Right.
So where do the feds fit in this then? So what hopes are there in that regard?
That is a loaded question, right? And that is one of the biggest questions that we have. And the challenge is because of the financial state, I was going to say state of California. I guess it's the financial mess that California is in having running billions of dollars in deficits. There's no belief that if the federal government comes in later in the year, which it'd be too late for us to really do anything significant about it, and proposes that we're going to cut federal education funding by 30%, there would be nowhere for us to go, and the likelihood of the state backfilling that is very, very slim to none because they don't have the funds to do it. And while we get a slim amount of money, it's still millions of dollars, but some of the other districts get millions and millions more, especially the ones that have higher levels of poverty and homelessness and foster students. So and we probably, by the time that comes around, it's for this year, we believe that we're funded where we are. But probably in the middle of the year, we'll find out more about what next year could look like.
Thank you.
That was a long way of saying we have no idea. I apologize. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Diane.
That was an information item. Item 10.4 is the update to the strategic plan LCAP.
Yeah, you've seen this before, board. This is just a reminder of where we are in our process. And so after this meeting, we'll be identifying the members of the strategic action planning team. We typically keep people who want to continue on and then replace members who aren't able to continue on. And then we'll be also deploying a survey to our staff and to our families to get feedback as part of that process. And then we have a couple strategic action planning workshops, and you'll be kept informed along the way. And the objective is to have a draft of goal updates ready to share with you at the March 11th board meeting, and then out for feedback from stakeholders afterwards. And so it's just an information item for you.
Thank you. Item 10.5 is the approval of the revised 26-27 student instructional calendar. This is an action item.
It's an action item, and there's a description in there. It's just a couple of updates that were made as a result of changes to the calendar for the 26-27 year.
Okay. I move to approve item 10.5, approval of the revised 26-27 student instructional calendar.
I'll second.
Item 10.5 has been moved and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so it passes 3-0. The next item is also an action item, the approval of the revised job description entitled.
Yeah, so as we've been, as HR has come on, we've been reviewing different job descriptions and titles. In this case, we are recommending the change from administrative assistant to update the responsibilities for executive assistant to the superintendent. It is a title change, a job description change. It's not a financial change for compensation for the position.
I'll make a motion to approve the revised job description and title 10.6.
I second.
Item 10.5 has been moved and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
I hear the person in that position is exceptional.
I've heard the same rumor. Item 10.6, approval. Oh, this is it. I'm sorry, I misquoted that. Item 10.7 is an information item.
Yeah, these are different legal changes that have come as a result of laws and litigation, updates to our board policy and administrative regulations that you see there. There's a summary there. This is not an action item, it's an information item, but if anybody has anything that they want to pull, otherwise they'll come back to you at the next meeting for action.
Thank you. Board member comment or future agenda items, is there any input there? If not, we'll
I
announce.
just have a comment to make.
Oh, yes, please do.
That's, yesterday, there was the gathering of all these former teachers and school administrators, school board members out at Montanez. And Dana did this presentation of the entire, it was a look at the whole school. And he really likes PowerPoints. He made that point, and it was really developed well. And I just wanted to take the opportunity to say that it was really impressive to all those older people who had left their school. When they leave, they want to know that things are left in good hands, and they remember it was like 13 years ago when you were brought in, and people remember that, and over the course of those 13 years, you've done some magnificent work. So I just want to say that.
Well, folks, the time has come. Our next board meeting will be February 11th. And thank you all for your participation in being here. Sammy, hi.
All right.
Is he subbing again?
Should we move to? Guess we don't have to. We don't need to move to close the meeting.